Um, just about 12:45, maybe a minute or two early. Surprisingly, for me, it is not often that I am a minute or two early for anything. Generally speaking, several minutes too late for the most part. But I'm here at my desk anyway, so I thought I would go ahead and hit that go live button. I had scheduled 12:45. I think maybe it was 12:40. If it was 12:40, then I'm late. Um, but I was googling up William Wordsworth, his famous poem, his famous line in his poem, uh, "Trailing clouds of glory." I think that was it. It is the poem itself is ode on uh, odes of immortality. I don't rightly remember. Anyway, a lot of people think that it speaks of reincarnation, which I'm not so sure, but it is a beautiful line. And someone had asked me the other day here on a live session if I believed in reincarnation. And that's a funny thing to think of. Because here we are talking about belief. Do I believe in reincarnation? Do I believe in anything? It would seem kind of odd to believe in reincarnation at this point in my life. I don't discount it, but to say that I believe in something, what's it based on? I don't have memories of a former life, of a previous life. I don't have any intuition that I'll have a life after this. So what would my belief be based upon other than I've read quite a bit of reincarnation. I've read accounts, credible accounts, research, um, where people claim that reincarnation is so. There's people who have gone through past life regression, and they certainly believe because it's based upon somewhat of an experience, whether or not it is just a mental experience or if it is, does it have the quality of a dream or is it an actuality? I don't know, and it's not for me to doubt someone's experience one way or the other. But just to say that I believe something because I read it, I can be partial towards it. And it is the same with anything. You could say, well, you have to have faith. But shouldn't faith be based upon something? Shouldn't be, I have faith in how nature works. I have faith in my meditation practice. I have faith in that if I work out and I watch my diet, that I will be in good shape, healthy. So it's beyond belief for those things because I get feedback. I get my blood pressure checked. I get my blood work done. I get how I feel. I wake up every day and I generally can do exactly what I want to do. With a little bit of a backache these days, but still. I've yet to find the Wordsworth quote, though. It is a long, long poem. Back in the day when people wrote such long poems. Here we go. Mocha McCarty here, and she says hi. Hey Mocha. So William Wordsworth wrote, "Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's a star, hath elsewhere its setting, and cometh from afar. Not in entire forgetfulness, and not in utter nakedness, but trailing clouds of glory, do we come from God, who is our home." Always love that line. Always love the whole verse, and then just the line of, "But trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home." And of course, again, some people say, well, this harkens to reincarnation. Being, deeply versed in quite a bit of yogic philosophy, I guess it's a natural question for people to say, so do you believe in reincarnation? And, again, my answer is no. I don't discount it, but I don't believe it because I don't have anything to base that belief upon. To have, my belief would be an opinion. And what good is having an opinion on reincarnation? What good is having an opinion on all this type of matters? Like, someone might say, do you have an opinion on meditation? No. I have an actuality about meditation. Do I have beliefs in meditation? Do I believe it's going to lead me towards what in yogic psychology would be called the siddhis, the supernormal powers? It's been well documented, and I know of people who have demonstrated some, but it doesn't pay for me to have a belief or an opinion on them. What I believe in is the actuality of my practice. The same when I was training for ultra running. It wasn't that I had a belief that I could run 100 miles. It was that I knew if I trained, if I did everything right, then I would be able to do it. My friend Tom Green, who's an ultra running legend, Milka's friend Tom Green, he used to say running 100 miles was a series of problem solving. Problem comes up, you solve it, you go on. You solve the next one and the next one, and if you solve all those problems, you finish 100 miles. Milka says, first off, let's see. Destiny says, hello and happy Sunday, Eric. How are you? I'm doing well. Destiny, I hope you are too. Milka says, you could have a hypothesis. I think you were just testing me to see if I could say hypothesis. I could. It just doesn't seem to, again, at this point in my life, to matter one way or the other. But I'll lead towards something in a minute. Destiny says, how are you, Mocha? Happy Sunday and blessings to you. That I'd rather talk about rebirth than reincarnation. Because we can see rebirth every single moment. Every moment is a small dying and a new birth over and over and over again. Reincarnation sort of implies that something is coming back, maybe in a different form, or a different self, or a different body, or a different whatever, even a different species in some cases. But a rebirth, that's an entirely different matter. And I remember reading, and this was just months before my father passed away, I read Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Undying, and I don't remember the title, but I know I have it here if I bother to look. No Fear, No Death, I believe is the title. And he talked of rebirth, and he talked of how every molecule and every atom and every particle has recycled. And Mocha's heard me talk about this before, that, right now we can breathe in atoms that Leonardo da Vinci had breathed in. That's immortality, and it's also rebirth. And I just love the thought of my father, who loved science and he loved nature, that particles that made him, molecules that made him, atoms that made him physically, are now a tip of a leaf or a wing on a butterfly, that he's continuing right now in this moment. That's rebirth, and that's the difference between rebirth and reincarnation. We know rebirth because we live it all the time. You don't have the same body that you had 14 years ago. And yet something is reborn and reborn and reborn. Nothing's been reincarnated, but we've had that rebirth. Let's see. Destiny says everything must die to live. I call that rebirth. Exactly. And that was beautifully said as well. Death is simply part of life. No death, no life. And I'm sort of discussing it because, one, my father's been a great deal on my mind this week. And I think that's because my, as I mentioned before, other conversations, my best friend from high school passed away on Monday. Sudden cardiac event is what they called it. And so, when that happens, he's my age, you start thinking death, you start thinking loss of loved ones, and you start thinking for yourself. Cardiac event could happen to anyone, of course. He was overweight. He had a poor diet. He smoked for many years. And he had heart disease in his family. So he was a candidate for it. More so, I would say, than I am. However, as Carlos Castaneda used to say, or as his mentor Don Juan would say to him, that death is always present, always stalking us on our left side, and at any moment could tap us. Which isn't a bad thing, because we can use death as our advisor. As a matter of fact, we'll go to the Google machine and Google that up. And that would be in the Toltec tradition. Death as an advisor. Of course, not the only one. The tantrics of South India would meditate in graveyards, or they would meditate in, what are they called? The crematories, where they cremate bodies. And they would meditate there because they were exploring death in an intimate way, becoming unafraid of death. And I think, one of the kleshas, which are there's 5 of them. It's yogic, Vedic psychology, the veils of ignorance that keep us from realizing liberation, truth. And I've mentioned before that there are attachments, things that we're attached to, feeling good, having good thoughts, people, places, jobs, objects. Nothing wrong with an attachment, except when we're so attached that our identity becomes entwined with that. We're so attached to a car, it's our identity. We're so attached to our job that we carry that title with us. We're so attached to anything that it just becomes, again, our identity. And then we suffer when we lose it. So the whole idea of the kleshas is how to avoid suffering, not how to avoid grief, not how to avoid sorrow, not how to avoid um, anything along those lines. You can't avoid that in life, but you can avoid adding suffering to that. And that's more of a psychological suffering. And that type of suffering is also aversion. So let's say someone dies and you're in grief, but it's so painful you don't want to feel that any longer. How do I get over grief? You turn to people and you say, how long is this going to hurt? Why does this hurt so bad? Ending of a relationship, losing a job, any of that stuff. That's aversion. Because the grief itself is natural. The sadness over loss, the sorrow over loss, any type of loss is natural. But trying to push what we're feeling away causes suffering. That's the big difference. So the other klesha, so there was attachment, there was aversion, there is not knowing our true identity, fear of death. Not knowing our identity is also confusing ourselves for the ego, for the thoughts that we have in our mind. Fear of death is a big one. And most of us say, well, I don't fear death. But I think, again, yogic psychology, it lurks. That fear of death, that fear of annihilation, which is why we think that we can, what is the biblical saying, building our castles here instead of heaven? That would be sort of thinking that we can gain some type of immortality here on earth, which isn't going to happen. You might be remembered for a generation, generations, a millennium, but millennium, you're not going to be remembered forever. No one is. Although Indian theology, Hindu theology, and again, yogic and Vedic, even Buddhist wisdom talks about the Akashic records, where everything is written and everything is maintained and everything is recorded. Not just the past, but the future as well. And that would be the basis of yogic astrology or Vedic astrology. It's said that if you go to visit a authentic Vedic astrologer and you walk into their office, their place, whatever it's called, they have the records all laid out already for you, because the records show that you will be in this place at this time on this date. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I've heard it from some pretty high authorities that I admire, that it is so. One of which being Deepak Chopra tells of such events actually happening. And he returned to India after he left the Transcendental Meditation movement to talk with the rishis and the seers and the yogic astrologers to base his own meditation system upon. Very similar to TM, just where the mantras are derived from is different. And that is where I got my meditation teaching certification, from the Chopra Foundation, and that's the meditation that I practice and I teach. So, by the way, the fifth klesha, the most powerful one, the most all-pervading one, the most important one, is ignorance, that we are ignorant of all those things that pull us and push us and tug at us, the aversions, the attachments, the fear of death, the belief that we are the ego. All that falls under the veil of ignorance, and that we can't gain any sense of liberation, any sense of freedom, until we at least become aware of all that. Our friend Horror of Space is here. Hello, my friend. Um, so to gain that sense of freedom, I always hear about conspiracy theories, and the greatest conspiracy theory of them all is not knowing ourselves, of not knowing that those glaciers exist, and how they keep us trapped in aversions and attraction and fear. And only when we become aware do things begin to change. And all it takes is that awareness. Um, so, all that said and done, that is pretty much why I've been um, having this conversation on death. And not to make it a gloomy conversation, but as Desi was saying, that it's the death of one thing. It's the death of a cell within our body that helps produce new healthy cells. We need certain cells to die so that healthier cells can take their place. That's rebirth, and that's also rejuvenation. I guess maybe also because we're approaching Easter. This is Palm Sunday, and Easter, it seems to me, I'm not a practicing Christian. I was born and raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school. Easter should be the most important of all Christian holidays, more so than Christmas, actually. So I have a question for Horror of Spice. Is today a walking day, and how did you do? And our friend Tokyo is here. Tokyo, how are you? How's the gaming going? I mentioned you guys yesterday. I think in my evening talk. How you've really redefined the whole issue of gaming for me. I didn't avoid subscribing and supporting gamers, but it wasn't something that I sought out either. If I was exploring different sites, probably the last one that I would go to would be a gaming one. And after my experience with you guys, that all changed. For one, and I say this all the time, so it was sort of an eye-opener that I wasn't always practicing it, that anyone who gets great joy doing what they do is something that I want to be in some way part of, or at the very least encourage and support. And coming across you guys, it was just an eye-opener. How much fun, but also, how much joy you guys get in that. So Toki says, good buddy, and I got you, buddy. Intel the same way with our types of streamers. Yawning is contagious. I need to stop it. Yeah, it can be. And Toki says, yes, sir. We appreciate it very much, Yogi. Thank you. And I definitely appreciate you guys giving me much support. So, well, I got you all here. Any of you believe in reincarnation? Any of you believe in rebirth? There is a difference. If you look back through the chat, you'll see, I'll see if I can find it real quick. Our friend Destiny, everything must die to live. I call that rebirth. Beautiful. Let's see. Chip says you need to get a razor and have a shave, scruffy old man, and brush your head hair. Let's see. I think need is a strong word. I think what you could say is I would prefer, for my viewing pleasure, I would appreciate your appearance more if you got a razor and have a shave. And have a shave. But here's the thing: you say scruffy old man, but if I were to shave, I would no longer be a scruffy old man. Um, so I'm either a scruffy old man or I need a shave uh, and brush your head hair. And that I'm not sure the reason for brushing my head hair. Um, but you know what? I will take that under due consideration, all of it. Although I do have my scruffy old man reputation to uphold, and I'm not sure I'm willing to put that at risk. Also, as a scruffy old man, I get to say things like "get off my lawn," and what else do scruffy old men say? Destiny says, Chip, likewise, remember karma is real. Enjoy your day. Thank you, Destiny. It is what it is, says, I'm here right on time. Salute, YouTube family. What I want to know is how come my YouTube friends haven't told me to shave and brush my head hair before. Here I am appearing live in front of all of you for so long, and no one has ever given me that advice before. And here is Chip calling it like he sees it. Forrest Swift says, I have a big old soup catcher. Boy, I haven't heard that expression in a long time. I always liked that. I actually have a well-cultivated scruffy look. This look isn't, it doesn't just come by itself. I got to wake up extra early in the morning and scruff myself up just perfectly so before I come on YouTube to present the scruffy old man. Let's see. It is what it is. Says, hey Chip, go choose some rocks. Kid, Eric is one hell of a man. So to Eric, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. Destiny says, hello and happy Sunday, Lewis. How are you today? And Mocha says, kids these days, they got no respect. Kids these days, no respect at all. Coming up on my lawn, talking to me like that. Lewis says, feeling a lot better. Sister Destiny, how are you? Glad to hear you feeling better, Lewis. Mocha says, back in my day. You know what that kid needs, Mocha? A good old-fashioned Irish gut punch is what he needs. I worked with an older gentleman when I was a manager in a retail store, and he was always threatening to give someone an Irish gut punch. Lewis says, because you look great, Eric. Thank you. Hey, you know what? 820 some days of burpees in a row better be paying off. I don't do 800 and some days of burpees to look like a scruffy old man. I do 800 and some days of burpees to look like a scruffy middle-aged man. There's a difference. That's the kind of respect I'm talking about. Destiny says, right, Lewis, salute to Eric. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you both. I appreciate that. Lucas says, and you would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids. Yeah, they're always getting into something, aren't they? Destiny says she's doing awesome to Lewis and with your scruff brush, says Milka. I actually appreciate, I wouldn't say comments like that, but I appreciate people like Chip who come by, because one, it gives me something to talk about, and it also makes me laugh every time. And everyone's got a story. Who knows what Chip's story is? Maybe he's suffered from what Mocha says, an Irish gut punch. Could be. So, anyway, back. Horror of Spice. Let me know if you got a chance to walk today and how it went. So here is, after our brief distraction, Carlos Castaneda talking about from his mentor Don Juan. Hey, our friend Noble Scrolling Travelers here. Noble, how are you? I appreciate you being here. We were talking about my old man scruffiness and that I need to shave and brush my head hair. I'm glad he left it at brushing my head hair and didn't include any other hair that might or might not need to be brushed. You know, because there's no need to get that personal. Hopefully by now, you guys know Noble. And if you get a chance, hey, if you get a chance to visit one of Noble's live session, make sure you click the like button, because when he gets 10 like buttons, he will do 10 push-ups. Are we doing it in sets? So if you get 20, Noble, are you going to do 2 sets of 10? Because as a former personal trainer, I'm going to do my best to make sure you get as many likes as possible. Noble says, I'm good, brother. How are you doing? Thank you so much. I'm doing well, actually. I was given a little talk on death. Cheerful talk, I know. But also of rebirth, which you can't have one without the other. Every single moment is some kind of a death, and every single moment is some kind of rebirth. And I think when you get intimate with that, when you embrace it, then the fear of death itself, which again is one of the 5 yogic kleshas, then that fear of death goes away, and you do gain that sense of liberation. And the type of liberation that I'm talking about is just that free and easiness of being alive, which is important. When you get that free and easiness of being alive, it is hard for someone like Chip to come along in a conversation and make you feel bad about yourself. I'm actually perfectly fine being a scruffy old man. Sorry, scruffy middle-aged man. Scruffy upper middle-aged man. Noble says, yes, if I get 100 likes, then 10 stuff to 10 live. That's awesome. So, guys, make sure you visit Noble and make sure that you click like, because it's a personal service. We're doing our best to keep each other healthy. Noble says, hello, Destiny. Thank you for the greeting. And it is what it is. Says, hey, Eric, if you ever have guests, you should do Sister Destiny first. That would be an epic live, I believe. You know what? It would be epic. And I'm all for that. And Destiny, if you have time and you want to try it sometime with me, I tried it once with Duncan, but we couldn't make it work. I would absolutely love going live with Destiny. We would have a lot to share, from diet to exercise to everything we talk about here. Destiny says, Eric, the distractions come to disrupt us and to entertain us, in turn, our attention away from our destiny, because we are on the right path. and the ego fears that. That's an excellent point, Destiny. Really good point. And I agree, um, quite a bit. It's the same, when I first tried to get serious about writing. This was back in the 90s. Um, more than anything, I wanted to be a writer, and I would sit at my desk and I would notice, you know what, I need to sharpen my pencils. I don't even use pencils, but I had to sharpen my pencils. And then, maybe I should take the dogs out before I start writing because I don't want them to interrupt me once I start. And then, you know, I got to do this, I got to do that, all those little distractions, and you never get around to writing. Your time is up, and you think, tomorrow will be the day. And it never is, ever. It's when you sit and you realize there's always going to be distractions, as long as we view them as distractions instead of, as Destiny said, signpost. Distraction comes up. Doesn't mean you have to be distracted. Use it. Turn back to the thing at hand. Think of it as in a burpee set. When we're doing the burpees, we don't stop. When the phone rings, we don't, this is our time. These are our reps. This is what we're doing. Hey, our friend Odom is here. Saying, hey, just see Yogi and is doing burpees in his basement. I even still get that wrong. Odom, today was the day you were hoping to get outside in the garden. Did you get your chance yet? I think you're an hour behind me here. So what is it, almost 12:30 or so? Mocha says, sorry, all I was driving. Hello to y'all. That's quite okay. Destiny says, okay, Lewis, I hear you. I was wishing Destiny a happy Sunday. And Destiny in return. Mocha says, Strolls gave Eric a chance to show off his stellar smart assery. I do pride myself on it. You know what? If somebody comes to press your buttons, whose fault is it? That person, or the fact that you still have buttons that have been unaddressed? If someone can show up and point out that I still have buttons, then the work is on me. I need to, it's not so much erasing them as it is just being aware of them. Being aware that that button is pushed. And then I have a response. And my response is generally just to laugh and smile. It's quite different than a reaction. And most people, when they come to make a comment like that, they want a reaction instead of a response, because a reaction has that stronger, immediate sense of energy that they can feed off of. A response is more gentle. It's more from the heart. And it is also, it's a way of smoothing over your buttons. Sort of an emotional safeguard. Odom says, I'm great, beautiful day. I'm off to work in the garden. That's awesome. I know that is your place. Odom is saying, hey, it is what it is. Noble has a really good question, and I don't have the answer. If you go live with someone, does all of their viewers get nullified also? That I don't know. I don't think it can be split. Or maybe it can. Odom says, yes, 2020 or 1220. Yeah, I always forget Tennessee, although not that far. It's really only a state away from me. Um, it's amazing when I can consider that Texas is only 3 states, 3 big states, and you got to drive at an angle. But you have Maryland, and you can drive through Virginia, you can drive through Tennessee, you can drive through Arkansas, and you could be right in Texas. Destiny says, day off from your job, great. And you were using the day to spend in your garden, Odom, awesome. Yeah, it is. Like I said, that's Odom's place. That's where he is in his element for sure. Odom says, Noble of the host has paid version of StreamYard. You can get the views. Huh. Noble says, hello, Mocha, the amazing person that has known the fantastic Yogi for 22 years. She has known me, married me, befriended me, and all the steps in between. Destiny says, Noble, not always people get notifications that someone is going live, even if they are part of your channel. And Mocha says, thanks, Sir Noble. Noble says, speaking of likes, I forgot, and just remember to like. You know what? I never remember to ask people. And the little things that we can do to help our channels, sometimes we forget. Everyone in the comments like the live for this lovely gentleman. Thank you, Noble. I appreciate that. Odom says, putting up a bamboo cage around my blueberry bushes. It's huge. Odom, what is the cage to keep out? What will it prevent? I would imagine it really, well, maybe it can help with birds. But I would think birds would be the major concern for blueberries. Birds and squirrels. I forgot about squirrels. Squirrels are clever animals. I worked in a nature store for a long time, and we sold bird feeders, and some of them were guaranteed to be squirrel proof. Not a single one was ever actually squirrel proof. I'm not sure you can make something squirrel proof. That's Noble says, Destiny, I'm not sure why, but the regulars that come to my channel, send them a notification. I wonder why only some of my subscribers get notified. I got one about Yogi Live also. One thing that helped me is remembering to set it as going live. I used to just press go live and then I would go. But now I put it as I forget what it's called. I guess as a notification. Mocha said deer. Yeah, that's true as well. Adam says tree chicken. My dad used to talk about he grew up eating squirrel pot pie. You know, he grew up in the backwoods of Pennsylvania during the Depression. Whole family were hunters. His father was a game warden, as well as forest ranger. So that was definitely a way they would feed themselves. Noble says, Mocha, no problem. And How do you put it as a notification? I just click live and go. Yeah, that's what I always did. I never knew you could do it as a notification. If you go, are you doing it on your phone? Where that little pen thing, the little pen icon, where you can change the title. If you scroll down just a little bit, it'll say set as a notification or something like that. And then you hit that, and it'll have a little calendar, and you can click the date. And time. And it's actually made a difference, and it's a good service for the people who enjoy coming to have a conversation with you, because now they know they can set aside 5, 10, 15 minutes to have that conversation. Milka said, nor did I. Same. And Odom says you can schedule your live stream and share it out on your community tab. I didn't know about sharing it out. Or does it come up automatically? Noble says, I understand that, and I don't get notifications from some people that I know. I connected to my channel. For an example, I don't get notifications that Eric is going live in his morning live. Most of the time, Destiny, it's not actually live. It's pre-recorded, I guess. I don't often record my workouts live because I don't have... I sort of feel, because I do my sets, my burpee sets unbroken, I don't break away from it usually. Although tomorrow is a slow session, so maybe I'll give that a try. I always feel like I'm not giving my friends the attention they deserve. Odin says it comes up, but your friend will see it more if you share it out in your community tab. Okay, that makes sense. Noble says, oh, I never knew that's what the pin was for. Thank you for the info. You're welcome. And I just discovered it myself. Just the way I learn most things. Pressing buttons, messing up. Pressing another button, messing up even further. Pressing another button, and then finally deleting the whole thing and starting over again. And so the process goes until eventually something clicks and I finally get it. So if I could save you any of that trouble, I'm certainly glad that I did. Destiny says there's a share button under your title description. You click on it and create a post to share out the host live stream or premiere. That I didn't know, but I'm definitely going to try. The J told me to do more premieres. He actually said something, you get more watch hours if you set it up as a premiere. I think that's what he said. Milka says, you can learn the tech when you want to. It's not that when I want to. It's when I'm willing to go through that series of mistakes, which could take years, and sometimes has taken years. What I need to learn now is I have a brand new camera, which I took out for a test spin. It is small click and shoot, but really powerful zoom. And I'm looking forward to, I got some stuff this morning, but I haven't actually seen it after. So I need to learn how to download. Mocha says that's how you learn. Yeah, but again, we're talking years. It's been, 26 years, about 25 years I've been using a computer. I'm slow to the game. I was even slower with cell phones. I don't think I had a cell phone until 2004, maybe 2005. Um, Noble says, Destiny, thank you for the info. Destiny's definitely has, my channel would not be where it is right now if it was not for the help of Destiny. Destiny does no small service for the entire, everyone connected in the YouTube community. Um, she just helps and helps and helps and helps. Absolutely amazing. Noble says, I just realized that Mocha and you have the same last name. It's entirely a coincidence. What are the odds of that happening? We with one day, with Mocha's permission, of course, I will tell the entire Eric and Mocha's story, the ongoing adventures of Eric and Mocha, which would be a great, great animated show, by the way. Destiny says, Noble, you're welcome. Mocha says, not true. The thing about the pin is new. Yeah, I sort of stumbled upon that, though. That was a happy accident. It's definitely a happy accident because it's helped. Mocha says, I only got a cell phone because of the kid. And actually, Mocha, you got me my first cell phone as well. Noble says, Destiny is a true blessing. Yes, she certainly is. Odom says, I'm still learning so much. Editing is from the devil. I've never edited a video. I'm not sure that I actually will. Mocha says, Eric was a cult leader and made us take his name. If that was true, then your name would be Eric McCarty as well. I would make everyone take my first name. Mocha says, okay, Bob Ross, I forgot that he said that with your happy accidents. Noble Scrolling Traveler McCarty says, I'd love to hear the whole story, especially the cult part. Is there still room in the cult? Where do I sign up? We actually met when I was working as a manager in the vitamin shop. And she looked like a young lady in distress. And if there's anything that tugs at my heart, it is anyone in distress, to be honest. And I answered her questions about some vitamin supplements. And I turned on, not a lot, I turned on just a little bit of my charm, like that much worth. Because, ooh, man, who knows what would have happened if I had used that much charm. Destiny says, thank Eric, Mocha, Lewis, Odom, Noble Scrolling, Horror of Spice, all of your feedback, answers, wisdom, knowledge, and especially all of your kindness. We learn from each other and then grow together. This is true. It's what I absolutely love about the YouTube community is just that. It's a community. It was a really big revelation for me that in order to grow your channel, you need to help other people grow their channel. Such a huge I'm not even sure the word I'm looking for. It's such a huge, not just a revelation. We always know the best way to any personal growth, personal gain is through service to others. But to take it so far as to do that at the level of the internet, which is often viewed as this, cold, unfriendly place where, filled with trolls, filled with people who are willing to bring us down. And it's been, obviously we get trolls, but it's been the exact opposite for me. That I'm finding so much satisfaction. My channel's growing, but more importantly, I'm finding so much satisfaction, so much personal satisfaction, and helping other people grow their channels in whatever way I can. Be it supporting someone's live session, and that can be as simple as spending 10 minutes in conversation with someone. Or if you hear that they need some watch hours, have it play throughout the day and go to their playlist and play it through the day. Just all kinds of little things that you can do to help other people. But you know what? The best way of all is something like, if I got 5 minutes going and saying hi to Noble, just saying hi and catching up, because I know I'm going to get this positive experience, that he's going to put so much goodwill out that 5 minutes can turn any day around. Or that I go to a YouTube short of Destiny and watch her treadmill dance. Or that I spend some time with Odom in his garden. Or with It Is What It Is, doing textbook perfect burpee reps and inspiring people along the way. And same with Horror of Spice, same with everyone. With the exception of, and I don't know this, so I don't want to say with the exception, I don't know anything about Chip's channel. So I don't know. But you know what? If Chip has a channel and it's important to him, I would go and I would support him. Mocha says, in answer to the question to Noble, you have to drink the blood of 1,000 bananas. And you know what? That's literally 1,000 bananas. I've mentioned before that when I first became vegan, my first probably 6 months, I was almost exclusively a fruitarian, and I was eating close to, but not exceeding, 30 bananas a day. And yes, that is a lot of bananas. Noble says, Eric with the Riz before Riz, aka Charm. Small doses. Mocha says, I almost passed out from the charm. Good thing I didn't, as I was in uniform. Yes, she was. And Mocha looked really good in her Air Force uniform. Odom says, thank you, Destiny, forever. We're learning so much from you. Always. She is, this is why when she puts up her nutritional videos, I never hesitate to share them out, because I know there's so much information that she's sharing that it just, the more people who have access to it, the better they're going to be. Mocha said he batted his golden lashes at me, and there was a pleasant breeze on that spring day I was taken. Not to mention I was 22 years younger. That's a big draw. Noble says, this is fantastic, Destiny. You have very nice words. She does. And you know what? Noble, if you go check out her shorts, she's a terrific dancer on a treadmill, no less. Odom says, I love the motivation and the knowledge from others here on YouTube, but I really don't know about my channel. I hope some gets the same for my channel. I mentioned that up above, Odom. I definitely do. 100%. That, and I mean that across the board. From when you spontaneously sing and you're spontaneously singing praise, and it just comes up. It comes up from your connection to the land. It comes up from your connection to God. And it's a wonderful thing to see, to be able to witness that. As well, the deep love that you have doing what you're doing and the knowledge. When you were in, where were you, Lowe's? Maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, you were just dropping knowledge like some people throw around football scores or whatever, you know, just so casually. But everything was just, you know, very deeply knowledgeable. Man, if in this entire conversation, if I was able to accomplish one thing only, it would be to really convince Odom how important I find his channel. Because, you know, again, it's the same like I was telling Tokyo about him and Smitty. When someone loves what they're doing so much that it just shines through with so much power, it's almost like an irresistible force. I'm going to bring up, you guys know my fondness for quotes, and I read this often from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And this is what I get when I visit Odom. As well, people like Smitty in Tokyo. The same with Noble and Destiny. And Noble's channel was really interesting because it's not specific. You know, like my channel is fairly specific with, you know, burpees and then talking about yoga, talking about meditation and breath work. Noble is specifically noble, and that's a good thing because he's got so much love, so much joy, so much energy that he's putting out just through conversation that it's just fun to be part of. When he was going through his record collection, by the way, one, he has a record collection, which is absolutely amazing. Two, he has amazing taste in music. So the one thing I would really love to convince, backtracking a bit, Odom is, again, just how important his channel is. And I don't garden. I absolutely love gardening itself, but I don't garden. I grew up where everyone had a large garden. It was just part of the way, you know, all of my family came from farm country or, you know, in the woodlands in Pennsylvania, in the mountains. Gardens and farms were important. So just to spend a few moments seeing someone in their garden growing something, which to me, anytime you grow something, you're doing a sacred act. So this is from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds, your mind transcends limitations, your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new, great, and wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. It's my experience with each and every one of you. when I visit your channel. And how can you not want to be part of that? And how can you not want to help share that? And when you do become part of it, a little bit of that rubs off on you. If I spend 1 minute watching a Destiny short, if I spend 15, 20 minutes hanging out with Noble, if I get to go into the garden with Odom, or check out Lewis hit his perfect reps, then I know that I'm lifted up, and then I bring it here, and it's just going to continue. No vibration ever actually ends. It just gets more and more subtle, and then continues on, and then it floats within the stillness of its origins. Every vibration comes from stillness, every vibration returns to stillness, but it doesn't disappear, because the vibration is just stillness magnified. What you guys are putting out are these joyous, beautiful, wondrous, loving vibrations that carry out through the universe. Those are the notifications that you guys are sending out. Right now, there's somebody in another dimension who's just perked up and said, wait a minute, Noble's going to go live, or Destiny's on the treadmill, or Odom's in the garden. Everything responds, and everything is a response. So you put out love, there is a response to love. You put out beauty, there's a response to beauty. Forget everything else. Forget viewers, forget watch hours. And I say that knowing that, yes, I do want to get my watch hours up. My goal is to monetize. But that's not the priority. That's the side effect. A great side effect. And side effects, those kind of side effects, are really good. But the mission is just keep lifting and keep lifting and keep lifting. Is put more joy in the world. Is to not cancel out the negative, but make the negative so inconsequential. I'm catching myself, making sure I said that right. So small, I decided not to chance it and say it again, that it just doesn't matter. That's what you guys are doing. That's what Odom is doing. That's what Noble is doing. That is what Destiny and Lewis, Tokyo and Smitty. Tokyo and Smitty are playing a video game, and they're putting out these hugely positive vibrations. Absolutely amazing. Smitty Deuces 187, and I hope you guys visit him. So I went off on a bit of a spiel there. Destiny says, Odom, thanks. I'm still learning new things and YouTube rules. They seem to be shifting all the time, always changing. And about how to manage our channels. We learn the knowledge and I pass it forward, which is greatly, greatly appreciated. And I'm learning things from you as well. Thanks. Mocha said, yeah, I did. My pretty blues. That was the thing I missed most when you retired, was being able to see you in your uniform. For those, I think everyone might know, Mocha served 23 plus years in the Air Force. And Mocha said, and she was 22 years younger. Yes, but you know what? You don't look like you're 22 years older. And I actually look like I'm 37 years older. I think maybe I'm aging in dog years. Destiny says, thanks, Eric. I truly appreciate you for sharing out my videos. You know what, Destiny? I think of it as a service to others. There's just so much information that people literally need to hear for their health and well-being. Mocha says, I need to remember to check out Dr. Destiny's work. as I am doing a treadmill workout, and I absolutely hate it. Yeah, you know what? That's a pretty amazing thing now that I think about it. Milka prompted that thought to be able to bring joy to a treadmill, which is the bane of a lot of people's existence. Um, that's that's no small thing either. Um, Destiny says, Milka, your passion and purpose come from the things you love the most in life, something like that. LOL. Odom says the feeling seeing something you planted grow and produce is amazing feeling. You know what? That's how I feel when I see um, the finished product of what I'm writing. When I see it on the screen, when I have it posted, knowing that it started with absolutely nothing. I sat at my desk with not a single thing in mind, and words trickle in, and before I know it, it's there. And it doesn't even have to be the best thing I've ever written. Just knowing that it came from nowhere to now here is amazing. To see something that you've taken from a seed and nurtured into a thriving plant has to be absolutely amazing. Mocha says, I'd prefer being outside, but this is a specific workout I was trying, and ugh, it's so boring. I have done over 20 miles on a treadmill before, and yeah, it can be a little mind-numbing. Noble says, how long do you usually stream a day? As long as people put up with me. So that could be as little as 5 minutes and as long as an hour. I'm actually hitting an hour and 15, which is, that's up there towards my best. I normally end it right around this time because I do my 2 o'clock, 2:30 last meditation session for the day. I've come to really love the live sessions. Oh, and I do, you were with us last night, Noble. I do another live session around 5 that I try to base upon my blog reading, where I read something and I go back into the archives and I pick something out and read it. Today might be the day. I keep threatening to read my Herman Melville little thing, and I keep putting it off, but maybe today. Destiny says, I know that's right, Odom. I have the same feeling when I design my jewelry. Seeing the why, seeing the work of my hand turn into a beautiful creation. Just like your crops and plants, it really is an awesome feeling. It's amazing to hear about the jewelry, Destiny. Noble says, thank you for your service, Mocha. And Mocha did do a service. She did a tour in Iraq, a hard tour, being away from her kid who was starting high school that year. And it was not during one of the great times. Noble says, I'm sure you heard me mention it, but I served in the Army, good old military. You know what? Mocha made a career out of it. It is definitely a service. When we say served, and it really is a service, that's for sure. Noble says, Odom, that is so true. When my strawberries are ready to pick and eat, so satisfying. Man, especially eating something that you grew yourself. So what do you grow, if you don't mind me asking? A friend Olive is here. She was here the other day. and she is saying some nice things in French, which I always appreciate. I took French for a number of years, and I don't know any French whatsoever. I communicate with Eric Vernon on the part of the Burpee community through Google Translator. Direct translation. Thank you. Hello, Eric. I survived to my first Yogi burpees. Excellent, Olive. I'm happy to hear that. Destiny says, hello, Olive. Noble says, I'm starting my 12-hour live stream in an hour. That's awesome. I thought of trying something like that. I will definitely have you up and running. I'll stop in and out. I'll be interested to see how that's set up. And I wonder, someone else, I forget who it was, had a all-day live stream for watch hours, is what she called it. And it had some music playing and some scenes showing up. And I wondered how to do something like that. Mocha says, thank you, Sir Noble, and thank you for your service as well. Not only that, Mocha comes from a military family. Her brother and twin sister served, and her father and mother as well. Odom says, I grow a lot from figs, apples, peach, pears, blueberry, cherry, strawberry, bananas, blackberries, grapes, raspberries, citrus, and more. Yeah, Odom is all exclusive, all inclusive, exclusive. And you notice, by the way, that figs top the list. There's a reason for that. I've read a really interesting book on figs, and they've been a huge interest to me ever since. But I actually learned more in just brief conversations about figs from Odom than I did from that whole book. Destiny says there's live silence screens many people do to get watch hours. Yeah, you don't. Is that worth it, Destiny? Because I'm approaching the halfway mark to getting my hours, and I'm in a race. I'm in a race between. I'm living off of what I inherited. Not a great deal, but I have a really simple life. And even if I made a fortune as a YouTube star, through my good looks and charm, or I'm sorry, my old man scruffiness and charm, my life would be simple. I don't wish for a lot. I wish for enough. And there's a big difference. I actually read a book on the Hawaiian art of making a wish. It's a book on Hawaiian shamanism, and they talk about the shadow side, the dark side of making a wish. Anytime you make a wish for health, you're also having a wish for the destruction of that which is making you ill. And you need to view things in terms of balance. Instead of wishing for more, you wish for an appreciation for what you have. And in that appreciation, what you have can grow. A great prayer is, may there always be enough. Imagine that. Imagine if the richest people in the world thought in terms of, may I just have enough, and how much they would have to give to others. Destiny says, thanks, Eric, and everyone in the chat. It's been a nice fellowship. Blessings and love to you all. I am out. Enjoy your day. Thank you. And I think I'm going to be done as well. I'm going to go do my meditation, and I'll be back later. I will be checking in on Noble in a little while as well. Looking forward to that. Noble says, Milko, thank you. I only did one contact, 3.5 years, and did it for the people, healthcare, for life, and free college, of course. You earn all of that by far. It's a fair trade-off, for sure. So, thanks, guys. Hey, 12 hours. Go check out Noble Scrolling Traveler. His live sessions are an experience of fun. Definitely check him out. And if you get a chance, check out Smitty Deuces 187 and his awesome gaming channel. Go visit out in his garden. And it is what it is, doing picture-perfect burpees, as well as offering inspiration. Lewis teaches through intensity. He hits the reps. It's amazing to watch. Go check out Sister Destiny. Not just dance on her treadmill, but she does a full service type of workout, all kinds of stuff. And she is always offering great wisdom, not just nutritional, but spiritual as well. Destiny says, Eric, I understand you get more watch hours doing premieres. I got to figure out how to do that. Live chats are great, but it helps mostly when you are typing and communicating. Silent screens, not that good. Okay, that makes sense. And you know what? I enjoy this. So I enjoy coming here and having these conversations. For me, it's an art form. And when I watch you guys do it, you watch Noble, you can easily see how it's such a great art form. Roka says, any service is service, no matter how long. Yep, I agree. More than most, so thank you. Olive says, see you. And I mean, see you. Marseille too. Did I say that right? Olive, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate that you're doing burpees, and I appreciate the French lessons. And I hope some of it actually rubs off a bit. Destiny says, the more people type in the chat, the more hours can be created. Man, I did not know that. Wow. So this was good. I love the conversations. So the fact that it adds up to more watch hours is like a huge bonus. I wouldn't want to just come here. I have come here and just talk to myself for an hour. And, you know, for me, it's like practice. But what I absolutely love is coming here and talking with you guys. That's the big thing for me. Noble says, I have regulars that sit for the 12 hours. Wow, streams the whole time and chat with me. That will be my 4.5 hour streams. That's amazing. Desi says that exclude the spamming trolls, etc. Which makes sense, and which is good. I've heard there's a way to block them. It's never gotten to that point. I doubt I will. Hey, your toast is here. Hello, my friend. We're just calling it a day, but I appreciate you being here. Odom says, it really makes you feel good to have people come and converse with you. Yeah, it does. Especially, when you think my little section of the world, my little yoga thoughts and, thoughts on meditation and breath work and nature, that someone else would come and listen and offer their thoughts as well. James Gype liked. James Gype is definitely someone to go visit and spend some time with and make some new friends. There are some friends here that I met through visiting with James. amazing group of people. Man, I can't say it enough that I have certainly been blessed. If my YouTube channel got no bigger than what it is now, and I got to keep having conversations with you guys, that would be enough. Noble says, yeah, you will see Stuart in the comments, and he stays for 12 hours. Wow, he's making my artwork. Yeah, you mentioned him, and I got a chance to see a lot of his conversations the other day. And he seems like a really great guy. And the fact that he's making artwork for you is crazy. Crazy good, of course. My artwork for March, not sure why, but he stayed for the other 4-hour streams. Well, like I said, it's a lot of fun, Noble. Odom says, have a blessed Sunday, everyone. You too. And we'll call it a day now. I will see everyone. Your toast says, you too. I'll see everyone. I'll be back like 5:15. Do a live reading, something from my blog. We'll see what it is. Tentatively, I'm going to say that it's going to be Herman Melville and how he wrote Moby Dick. Short little lyrical prose essay. Tentatively. Something else might catch my eye. So if you guys want to tune in, either way, I appreciate you guys being here now. Your toast says goodbye. Thanks again for popping in. I appreciate it. Everyone, thank you. Much, much appreciated. I'll see you later.